The latest one-to-one documentary is a must-see for all Lennon fans. To see and hear so much previously unreleased material comes as a welcome surprise, particularly after the disappointment of Beatles 64. First, let's start with the restored concert footage, which is the only concerts John gave after he left the Beatles. And well, Sean has done an absolutely cracking job of remastering the audio using the latest demix technology to turn what was previously an unlistenable experience into pure gold. The original 1986 album and VHS video were simply too painful to listen to, with a complete absence of low end. 1998's Anthology fixed the audio, but sadly only 3 tracks from the concert were included. The opening track, the much underrated New York City, is now heard in all of its powerful glory. The one-to-one movie features only some of the concert songs, but later in 2025, to coincide with the anniversary of John's birth, we will be getting all of this set in pristine quality, so it augurs extremely well. Yet there are many other good reasons to watch this movie, as it captures an intriguing period in 1971 and 1972, just after John and Yoko have decamped to New York. Both John and Yoko are clearly trying to find their way in the world, John trying to find a new direction in his solo career, while the couple search for Yoko's daughter, Kyoko, who has been taken away by her father. John would never see Kyoko again, but Yoko would be reunited with her in later life. They do all this initially living in a cramped loft apartment in Bank Street in Greenwich Village, and the filmmakers have gone to painstaking efforts to recreate this duplex apartment.
Really feel at home there.
John's own reel-to-reel tape recordings, logging their phone calls, never publicly heard before, are at the heart of the movie. John was on a high after John Sinclair was released from prison, just 3 days after John performed his self-penned protest song about him at a rally in Michigan. We can hear John's calls to Alan Klein outlining his plans for a Free the People US tour to raise bail money for prisoners, culminating in a gig in Miami during the Republican National Convention. No wonder Nixon did his best to deport John and Yoko.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Klein tries to dissuade John, but he ultimately abandons the idea when the non-violent peace movement gets hijacked by actors with less noble intentions. It was in this tiny duplex apartment, gorging on US TV, that the couple received their first insights into modern American life. John consumed huge amounts of TV, which was very influential in forming his worldview. He was fascinated by the sheer wealth of TV, having come from a country with only 3 TV channels, still largely in black and white, and closing down at midnight. Now, John could consume multi-channel colour TV 24/7. The movie perfectly captures this period, and John's want for channel surfing, using this as a device to seamlessly mix in images of Nixon, Vietnam, Attica State Prison, and contemporary TV adverts. John was so moved by Gerardo Rivero's account for ABC's Eyewitness News of the appalling conditions at Staten Island Willowbrook School for intellectually challenged children that he agreed to stage a free benefit concert to raise funds at Madison Square Garden. Indeed, Gerardo's report is so disturbing that I could only feature a few seconds in this video.
It's been more than 6 years since Robert Kennedy walked out of one of the wards here at Willowbrook and told newsmen of the horror he'd seen inside. He pleaded then for an overhaul of a system that allowed retarded children to live in a snake pit. But that was way back in 1965, and somehow we'd all forgotten.
There are some great moments capturing the zeitgeist of the early 1970s, with John being the only guy to attend the first International Feminist Federation in New York and facing a vote on his expulsion. There is also a running gag about Yoko trying to secure 500 live flies for her movie, which turns out to be quite a logistical challenge. So enter stage left, her assistant, May Pang. The one-to-one concert took place just 1 year after George Harrison had organised and performed at his own benefit concert for Bangladesh, also at Madison Square Garden. John was taking the one-to-one concert seriously, with 4 days of rehearsals and a set comprising the best of his solo singles, album tracks, one Beatles classic, Come Together, and even a cover of Hound Dog. Paul McCartney was said to have been invited, but not wanting to be associated with anything which had Alan Klein's name connected with it. In any event, Paul was concluding Wings' first tour of Europe at the time. Interviewed after the concert, John described it as the best music I enjoyed playing since The Cavern or even Hamburg, and the same kind of feeling when the Beatles used to really get it. And so this movie is highly recommended. At the end, we even get a sneak peek of some of the delights awaiting fans later in 2025 with a special stripped-down version of Number 9 Dream played out over the end credits.
You may say I'm a dreamer.
Just as two lovers